Classify the triangle below using its sides and angles. So there's three classifications when it comes to sides. You might not have any of the sides be the same length, in which case you would be dealing with a scalene triangle. So this is, let me just draw an example of a scalene triangle, maybe make it a little bit clearer that it is scalene. So I'm going to make it clearly a scalene triangle. So none of the sides are equal. If two of the sides are equal, you are dealing with an isosceles triangle. So it might look something like that, where this side is equal to that side right over there. And if all three sides have the same length, you are dealing with an equilateral triangle. So an equilateral triangle might look like this. All three sides have the exact same length. So over here, they give us the three sides. One is of length 4. One is of length 3.1. One is of length 4.8. None of them are the same length. So this is a scalene triangle. And that's just thinking about the sides. Now when it comes to angles, we care about how wide open the angles open up. So there's a couple of scenarios. If all of the angles are less than 90 degrees, we call it an acute triangle. An acute triangle. If one of the angles is 90 degrees, we call it a right triangle. So if all of them are less than 90, it's an acute triangle. If one of them is 90 degrees, it is a right triangle. And if one of them is larger than 90 degrees, it is an obtuse triangle. It is an obtuse triangle. And just as an example, an acute triangle would be something like this. All of these are less than 90 degrees. A right triangle would look like that, where you have one 90-degree angle. And you can't have two or three 90-degree angles. You can only have one 90-degree angle. And then an obtuse triangle would look like this. Where you have one angle that is obtuse, like this one right over here, where that angle is greater than 90 degrees. So if we look at our example right over here, this is less than 90 degrees, this is less than 90 degrees, and that is less than 90 degrees. So it is an acute triangle when you look at it from a point of angles. So you could call this triangle an acute scalene triangle.